Hi, friends. Welcome back. Risk is one of my favorite topics. In my last video, I talked about limiting desires. Okay. So, this video, I'm going to talk about risk. And all the points I'm sharing with you is not just based on the theoretical understanding, but rather a practical understanding with my post the outcome of discussion with my clients, my friends, and so on, with my stakeholders. So, this is one of the interesting points which I would like to share about risk. Um, Now there are two things. One is for every matter, we can have an opinion, okay, but there are few things where there is a fact. You cannot change that with your opinion, right? So I think I'll share a couple of facts about risk, and I think you'd agree that these are facts and not just my opinion or your opinion. So first point, what I'd like to discuss is risk is always in the future, and I repeat, risk is always in the future. So whatever happened has happened, right? Something, let's say some bad event happened, while managing your company or whatever it is. That has happened. You can learn lessons from that, but it is very difficult to say that the process that or design a process that you'll be able to manage that kind of risk well. Again, you can definitely learn from that particular process. But the point is, risk is in the future, and it is very difficult to know what could happen in the future, because future is a probability distribution. There are thousands of ways many things could happen, but we know that only one thing will happen in the future, about a particular event, right? That's point number one. Second point is that we all, whenever we make any decision, we always try to think about the past, right? And we think that, okay, as nothing happened in the past, no risk happened in the past, hence uh, I don't have to worry about that. So let's say, take an example. Let's say you are a serial entrepreneur, you are a CEO, and you have managed several clinical trials in the past, right? And you never faced any problem. That doesn't mean that in the future there won't be risk in the clinical trial management in terms of recruitment of patients or managing investigators and so on, right? uh, if you think that future is exactly like past, then what will happen is that if all of a sudden, if things change, you won't be prepared to manage that particular risk, right? So that's the second point, I think, is very important. And the third point is about let's say very improbable events or even black swans. Okay. So when we do a worst case scenario, right, it is seen that we always are less negative about that event. Meaning, we always, human beings, we have a bias, right? So remember, let's say in the interview, if you're asked, "What's your weakness?" and then you must be thinking that I should tell weakness that could sound something like a strength, right? It's exactly the same point here. Okay. Um, in the worst case scenario, when we try to develop a worst case scenario, we try to be less negative about it. Okay. But we know that in the future many bad things could happen. Okay, there could things happen which we have not imagined. So that's why Donald Rumsfeld talked about known knowns, known unknowns, and unknown unknowns, right? And this also brings me a point shared by Howard Marks, the legendary investor. um, and he shares a story that his father said about a gambler that wanted to put money on a horse. He realized that the in that particular race there is only one horse, so he put all his money on this horse, thinking that it's only one horse and he's going to win. In the middle of the race, the horse ran out of the fence and ran away. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.